Hi everyone, Laura Burke here from My Smart Hands, and today I have with me Anne Gomez, a productivity consultant and founder of Clear Concept Inc. She is an amazing organizer and
thank you.
Productivity encourager.
Encourager, yes.
Yeah.
I think that productivity makes life easier, and that's what we're all about with this series. It's making our life easier at home.
It really does, and I've implemented some of the things that you have already suggested.
Oh, great.
And life is going much smoother.
Oh, good.
Thank you
I'm
very
so
much.
happy to hear that.
And I hope that you guys are finding these tips helpful as well. And today we're talking about
feeding a hungry family.
Yeah.
You know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yes.
She has 4 young kids, so
4
she
children.
has a big lot to feed.
Yeah, so they come home from school and they're hungry. I mean, we feed them, we send them to school with a ton of food, but they come home and they're hungry. So what they used to do was they used to open up the cupboards and kind of eat, stuff that we didn't necessarily want them eating. So now when they come home from school, we have this, we have the fresh fruit and vegetables sitting here, and as they're unpacking their lunch bags and as we're talking to them about their day, they're kind of gobbling up the good food, and that's what we want.
That's great. I actually do implement this in our house.
That's great.
Yeah, I have a bin in the pantry and a bin in the fridge, and it has all of the food that they're allowed to eat. So it's all the healthy choices,
Right.
but they get to pick what they
Yeah,
want.
exactly. They get to pick. Yeah. So, and we don't do this every single day. Like, this is one we do, a few times a week, and we keep it in the fridge, and they can always pull it out.
Right, because they're not going to eat all
They're
of
not
this.
going to eat
in one
all
go.
of this, but it's a nice selection, so they can have a little bit of what they feel like that day.
Right, and then you put it away, and then pull it back out the
Exactly.
next day. That's
Exactly.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah. So the other thing is about just stocking your house with food, right? Like, that's a whole job in and of itself. So. And what I hate doing is I hate running to the grocery store day after day after day. What I find really makes our life easier, what I recommend is, planning out your meals a week in advance, and then planning your major grocery run and then a booster grocery run throughout the week. So you're kind of thinking, several days in advance of the food you need, and we try and plan meals. So if we're using half a pepper tonight, we can have a meal that involves the other half of the pepper tomorrow, that kind of thing.
That. Wait, you've just blown my mind right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't always go as perfectly as that, but that's the plan.
That's brilliant, because you know what I do? I'm that person, because when you live in a big city and there's a grocery store just down the street,
right,
you just pop in and buy whatever you need.
Right.
And I plan my meals like in the morning. What are we having for dinner tonight?
Right. But so that's every time you go to the grocery store, like, that's easily an hour out of your way, even though it's only a few minutes down the road. You gotta go, you gotta walk through the aisles, you gotta pay, come home, put it away, like that all adds up. So what I encourage you to do is kind of just really think a few days in a row,
right?
And even like thinking a week in advance. And you probably will have to do a booster run. At least we find with as many people as we have in our family, we do need to do a booster run.
Right.
It's amazing how the food just goes so quickly.
But it's not the everyday thing.
But it's not the everything.
But I do like that you said when you're planning out your meals, and your one meal has a pepper, then maybe you can use that other pepper in another meal. So I find that I'm throwing away so much, and I hate it. Yeah,
so we find that the more we plan, the less we throw out.
Makes sense.
And yeah, I hate throwing out food, and sometimes it does go bad, and we didn't plan as well as we should, or we misplanned, but we get better and better at it the more we do. And then we have our favorite recipes in a binder that we've pulled out from recipes.
I have the binder.
Magazines.
I do the binder.
That's awesome.
It's so great, because then when you're like, what do you want to do this? And you pull it out.
Yeah. So we pull out the binder when we're planning our meals. And the other thing I would suggest for parents with kind of picky eaters, which probably applies to most parents watching this video, is to get their input, right? So I really believe that a family meeting is critical. That's something that Allison Schaefer has taught me. She's parenting expert Allison Schaefer.
Allison, yeah.
And, I really do believe that kids, the more input they have in the meals, we find that they're more likely to eat it.
Well, that makes sense. You're sitting them down and saying, what do you want to eat and what will you eat? And then if they kind of agree on it and you make the meal and they say, I don't want it, you can say, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
You said you wanted this.
Exactly. And one of the other ways we find that it helps to get them eating more of the meals is to have them involved in it. So we talked about chores in one of our other videos. And so every night, one of the kids is assigned to help make the meal. And we try to arrange that around who's got busy activities that night. But they take such pride in helping to make the meal. So whether they're, helping to chop some vegetables or stir something that's cooking, or pour things into a bowl, or whatever the age appropriate jobs are.
Right.
The more they're involved in making the meal, and then we present it to the family. We say, this is Christopher's, these are Christopher's tacos, or this is Taylor's stir fry, or whatever it is. They're more likely to eat it, and we find that works really well.
Right. That makes sense, actually. My daughter cooks a lot of the meals in my house because
that's amazing.
I hate cooking.
That is amazing.
So I'm really thankful for that. But I do know that when my son does help, he is more likely to sit down and enjoy his creation.
So I hope that those tips help people make the food aspect of life run a little bit smoother.
Right. Well, I have to say my favorite, because I've already been doing this, so this is good. If you're not doing this, let me tell you, this is such a lifesaver.
Yes.
And it really stops in the complaining.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally stole this idea from another mom, so we all have to work together.
Yes. Yeah. We're all giving.
Exactly.
Do this to make life easier.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I love just now, which I don't know why I didn't even think about it sooner, is planning our recipes based on the food that we have, the food that we buy. So that will help with the waste.
Yeah, and what I've also found is the more we plan our food, the less I have to keep on hand. Like the number of kind of canned goods and packaged goods that we have on hand, just the rice, the pasta, like those kind of things, those packages I've really had to take up less space in my house, which is quite nice.
Right. Oh, exactly. Well, these were fantastic tips again. So guys, I want to thank Anne for really sharing all of these great tips with us. If you haven't seen our other videos, please check out our playlist, which is The Productive Home, and you'll see other fabulous tips from Anne.
Thank you so much.
And I may have to do a part 2 series if you come up with more awesome ideas that you can share with us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Laura. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. So everyone take care. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.